the
way when
LCK
you
are
play
crazy.
Kennen, I feel like, you know, this could be a meta if you want your top laner to actually do something. Maybe into a Renekton that Zeus could absolutely
Alright, into
pull
draft
out.
we go.
Let's see what we go into here. I would love to see T1 really bounce back from that loss
Poke,
against Liv
let's go,
Sandbox,
man.
because it wasn't just a loss, it was like... It was
a crushing defeat.
a crushing defeat. It was really one-sided. So that's really the hope, that they can bounce back from that, that DK can continue to bounce upwards from their win against Kwangdong Freaks.
Did it in?
Let's get into the draft here. We do have Renata Glass.
Renata,
and
Sivir. We're probably going to see
First ban on the
Kalista,
red side. She is just really strong now.
And
Gwen
her
maybe,
strength comes
Yumi.
from, I think, two major facets.
What
One
else?
is her
Spannable
late game.
Poppy.
She's finding so much success there, but more than that, it's
Let's
a
see how
wave clear
T1 do on blue
bio,
side
which
here.
has led to early Drake takes, which, as we
Look at all of them
observed
holding
in
up
the
signs.
LCK
Holy shit, there's so many of them.
Has been much more powerful
So many
than
signs.
early Herald, and controlling the bottom side of the map and mid with it has led to such a snowbally style of games where we're not seeing close games too often here in this week of
Silas
play on
Ben,
12-14.
okay.
Silas will now also be removed, so does
There's
Ben
no truck
towards
here
a
today, no.
potential first
No
pick
truck
is
today.
here for Faker if T1 would like to prioritize that. If we go deep down, Wukong being gone, Zeri being gone, etc.
They use heat packs for their hands in summer? Yeah.
This is the
The
series that I
studio's
wanna
probably
see
very air conditioned, so they
Showmaker
probably heat their
play
hands up.
Azir. I want him to pull it out in this one, because Azir feels so obvious for T1. Now, Syndra isn't an amazing pick into that. I just think it has a lot
Gwen?
of ability on this patch to just get aggressive in lane and try to...
Faker has quite a
actually
long
match the
distance from his
Azir rather
keyboard.
than just picking something
He
like
sort of plays
Rikali
like
or
this,
Sylas, which is banned.
rather than like close
And
together.
just trying to like get through lane and then eventually come online.
Quite a lot of distance.
Will they ban the Talia against Stomp is another question.
Yeah, that's something that's been in our top teams really kind of a exclusive flex
Poppy
to
ban?
Damwon. We've seen Afrika or Kwangdong, I should say, flex that around a little bit.
They
So
want to
that
stop
priority
Kalista
up
Mumu.
pretty high as we'll actually see
Wait, who's
Mumu
playing?
move
Kellen
here.
or Bible?
It is not Bible playing today, but Kellen in the
Okay,
bottom
thanks.
lane. Bible was the player who had the phenomenal Amumu performance very recently against Genji. But still, the drafting style definitely can still be used even with Kellen on the Rift. As feels like a throwaway ban, as T1 look to potentially trade mid laners here. Don't want to ban the Ahri. As Damwon Kia, will it be Zeri? Will it be Yumi?
Yone!
Feels
What?
Like another throwaway ban. I mean, T1,
They should first pick Poppy here.
they've been known to pull out crazy comps in their own time, but that's not really what warrants a ban.
Must be
here.
something
I
to do
was
with
thinking
scrims.
the Yumi ban.
Maybe Yone is
Yeah.
T1's answer to
She's
Sejuani?
really insanely
That would be my
strong, even
guess.
with the recent buffs to not only her, but the support items.
Well, they're saying if you want, because this is one thing you can do on red side.
What?
not-
They
not
first pick
throwaway bans,
Wukong?
You should still ban something like
That
Wukong
one should pick
instead.
Poppy, Yumi, and
Still a pick.
AD on
One thing
3.
you can do on, in
I think
terms
they
of
can
not
go
banning Yumi
Poppy, Yumi,
is get Yumi plus,
AD on
you
3,
know, and there are so many priority
and
picks
they'll
on blue
pick
side.
Azir
You
and
can
AD,
get one.
or something like
On red
this, or
side, you
top.
get two.
Maybe they
You
value
get
Sedge
mid
as well,
laner and
unless you want to
jungler.
pick
You
Sedge
get
here
mid laner
somewhere.
and a priority
Take it away from the
carry,
Wukong.
or
Both are fine.
mid laner that synergizes with jungle. Like they
I
could
think
go
picking
for Ahri
Sedge
here,
Yumi, for example, is okay.
Zeri Yumi.
Zeri Yumi, considering that Yumi was left up.
I think
Wukong
Yumi Sedge
goes
is
over to
pretty good.
T1, and you could start to see why Damwon and Kia weren't really sure exactly what.
Yeah, what
they
do you
wanted
have? You
to
have,
ban there, because they wanted to leave the most options
don't have
here
many of
for red
these. You'd
side
have to drop
available.
the Poppy, which is not
And,
great though.
You
But
know,
I think denying the
unlike
Sedge is good
Nami,
because you banned Yone
if
for
you do
it.
not
I guess
lock in
that's
your
why you're
unitary gear,
1-2ing.
The pick away is quite strong
Sedge.
for T1 still, so I think that we will probably see this locked away.
They take away
You can
Azir.
always go Twitch Yumi if
Yeah, they should just
they
go Ahri
really
then.
desperately want to take away the Zeri. Zeri Yumi obviously does feel like the
I
best
think they
combo
should just
though.
go Ahri
Yeah,
Sedge
Lucian,
then. Or unless they
Yumi
want to pick
also
Akali.
a
I think
strong
Akali
combo
Sedge is
too,
fine too.
into whatever.
I think you can't really do much here otherwise.
Zeri
Unless you pick
would
full
not
bot lane,
advise
which
it, considering the Yumi on the
also
other side.
I don't like
This
full
is
bot
the
lane here.
trade of mid laners that we
Unless you're
expected.
playing Kalista Note or something, but I don't think it's good
Wukong
yet.
was picked up not as strong as a Vi in the early parts of the game to punish the Azir, but still will be a
Ahri
good
Sedge
top
would
pick
be
here for
standard.
Faker in terms
And
of
Nuguri
getting
would just pick Gragas,
kills,
but no, they would
charms,
pick
setting up
Poppy.
mid-game
They have to pick
fights.
Poppy on here, on 3. They have to
but
pick Poppy.
arguably fairly weak against
The
any
problem
sort
with picking
melee that
Poppy is if they
could be
ban
attached to also
they
Azir
do pick
can
Note.
play
Okay,
very
so
well
they
against
pick...
Ahri, so it will not be a strong
Okay.
matchup, kind of neutral in that regard. It's going to be about the
When they
play.
have Aphelios,
As Nautilus will be
Note,
picked
Draven
without
Note,
any
Samira Note,
carry, just for more pick potential, the
yeah.
hooks,
Kalista
the
Note,
ults,
yeah.
etc.
It's
No, you're
strong
not playing
into
Kalista
Yumi,
Yumi, you're
strong into
fucking with
Zeri
me
as well.
sideways.
So I think that's the idea there.
You're
They're
not playing Kalista
essentially
Yumi.
saying, yeah, sure, go ahead, Duck Dom Kellen, pick whatever you want. We'll take our support.
They take
for Keria,
Zeri.
and we'll go.
I
from
guess that's
there.
fine
Guma
because they
play
can ban
something.
Sejuani
To
if
be
they want
honest,
to.
I mean, Guma's seen better days, right? He's a fantastic AD carry. but nowadays he's not really the central
Esteban is
carry
good.
player on the side of T1. So I actually like the fact that they're just like,
Wanna get that
Yuma,
inside?
we'll find something for you. We don't know what it
Wait,
is,
I'll help you 1 second.
think
but we're gonna pry out some other picks as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Callisto Draven, excuse me, banned by Damwon Kia here. And then the Nautilus pick also does lead into the Zeri pick they expected. So that's another thing that, you know, we will mention here. But as T1, the bans don't feel as strong. You can take away some of these diving, strong junglers in the Poppy and Trundle if you want to take that away. Obviously, Wukong struggles into both fairly early on in the game. So I think that's the expectation here. If not Draven in this bottom side, you know, it could just be the Aphelios they take away as well. It doesn't have to be a prio lane, but the Draven is the one that is the super obvious strong 2v2 here into the Zeri Yuumi. If the support wasn't open, I think the bans would look different. Or if the support wasn't locked in, the bans
It's raining outside.
because they could play Karma lane or something else. But since the Nautilus is face up, pretty easy for Damwon Kia to isolate these two strong pushing AD carries.
Poppy Gragas bans.
It's more Gragas.
Okay, they're gonna take away Sedge.
Here on the ban list, we saw that in our first series as well against a support player, namely Life. This Sejuani feels good for Nuggery. You know, just provide a front line. You already have.
Okay,
the
okay,
same
I can
Sejuani
see what
is
Damwon have
also
done.
a very strong. I mean, Yumi's good pretty much anywhere.
But I just really know. I need to know what you're
so-
last picking.
Yeah, it is going to be blind though, so there is an option.
Zeus must
for
have an
Zeus
answer
if
to
he
Sedge.
wants to
There's
get a
Samira,
little
yeah.
bit
It's good, I think.
frisky, as
There's
you were
the
talking
Samira.
about Samira in game 3 of the last series. Here we go.
Yeah, I really like this pick right now. It's only been played once this season.
What do you pick top into
and
Sedge?
I want to say it was like Henna or something like that.
Henna?
Didn't work out, but
Camille?
I think it's very strong in this meta
Yeah.
where getting prio is important and
Ornn.
fighting for mid-game control of elementals.
Very
is really
team fighty.
strong.
It's
The
fine, though.
Motion Blue spike for her is huge. And Ornn,
Yeah, I like T1's draft,
it's
yeah.
a pick that once
But what is
again
your last pick
for
jungle?
those
Because you
big
gave up
fights
Poppy to
that
deny
will add
Sejuani
extra
and make
skill
sure
to
you have
this comp.
Zeri Yuumi.
It's not
You
a
early
scaling
picked Azir to
combo
deny
in the
Azir as
traditional
well.
sense of just getting those
Which I think
items
is not
online and
that
getting
useful,
damage
but
spikes
maybe
later.
Azir is
It will
broken and I'm
really
missing
fall
something.
far
A lot of
behind
teams are early
Azir
rotating
this
Azir, so I can...
I honestly thought something like an Aatrox.
there's a lot of
or
people playing it,
Renekton would've
but
been incredibly strong here for
yeah,
T1,
Xin Zhao
but
is
they don't
probably the
pick
best,
that
isn't it?
option.
Yeah,
Xin Zhao is
perhaps
good.
just
Viego is
to
fine.
look
I think Xin
more
Zhao is the
for
best.
the
Trundle
team
is...
fight pick potential
Trundle
rather
is actually
than,
pretty
you know,
good too, I
trying
think.
to
But they'd lack a lot of
place
damage
that
then.
lane. We do have last pick here for Canyon, and it will be the Xin Zhao, which we've seen off and on. Been a little iffy about it.
is-
I think that it can be amazing with
Yuan
the
is
Yuumi.
pretty
Again,
happy, I think.
just another pick that goes really well with the Yuumi. and
Yuan
it's
is
really
pretty
good
damn
at
happy.
counter-engagement,
Yo, Brew, thanks,
you know,
bro,
and
thanks for the prime.
providing space.
Crescent Guard is
I actually
super
think
strong
Damwon should have
against
picked
Samira,
Trundle.
Nautilus, Ahri, and even against Wukong, because
Because I don't think this Xin Zhao pick is going to help you have more damage. It's just slightly weaker early game. And I think T1 are... I mean, I guess it can peel a bit as well. No, I think Trundle's better.
Isn't in the fight because he's long range engaging. Ahri isn't, and you can
Yo, can we mods? Can we gamba?
push the Wukong towards the rest of the team, delete him, while also having that Xin Zhao immortal in the front line, blocking any sort of follow-up damage from a Samira, etc. In terms of just jungle ganking and having extra power in lanes, I think it is a very weak pick in this draft. But I think, as you say, it's mostly just straight up a disengage pick. And it's so interesting.
I don't know why...
Gone full
I think
circle,
they
no
should have
matter
just
we were
dropped
at first
Azir.
just
I think it's the
Wukong,
best,
Viego all the
maybe.
time now. Now
What
we're
happens
having
if
a
you
lot
drop
of
Azir and they get
Wukong
Azir?
priority
They
in
play Azir,
early parts of the
Wukong,
draft, but we're hiding jungle pick until
Nautilus
later,
or
waiting
Sedge.
to see.
It's fine.
The red side jungle pick is often
Because then you
a
have... what do you have?
response to the composition.
You have
So we're
Zeri,
seeing a lot
Yuumi,
more jungle
Poppy.
flexibility on red
You ban
side here,
ADs.
at least in this week of 12-14.
Top counter pick's kind of useless then. Or a top pick is
That's a really
useless.
interesting picture of Gumi Yusi. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, I think they should
that
maybe
was
just go
a
Trundle.
post he made after his, because you know there was a lot of like social media going back and forth between
What the fuck is that?
you know the follow up to the match against Gen G, and when they did not
Yeah.
you know succeed in winning, I think he posted something like that. Yeah, I failed to match.
Guma
but I'm
wake up
looking
here?
forward to the next one. So hopefully he can pop off in this match. Is what we're hoping for with this sign.
So show
Love
me a
the hair.
penta, is what
Show me a
that,
penta?
Korean says there on the right side of the screen. The hair is hilarious. We'll see if it leads to a penta here. The sign is strong. It's a Duck Dom fan here. Also asking for the pentakill.
What ADs can you play
But
with
I
Yuumi?
like the drawing, you know, it's
Yeah.
the official
Very Twitch.
pentakill
I don't know if
pop
Estrel's
up
playable.
with Duck Dom's name above it. Also
But if they
says
early pick
Mamadi,
Nautilus and you have
which
Yuumi, isn't
is the
Estrel
word
fine
that's
into,
used
into
for
Nautilus
ace
lanes?
in the Korean client.
Guess you don't get prior, right?
Yeah, hoping for that one. Love the drawing of the
Yeah, I'd have to sit there for 5-10 minutes to figure that one out. But I think it's very solvable. If you have Yumi, Zeri, Poppy open, and you want to deny Sejuani and Azir, I think you're trying to cover too many things. You either give them Sejuani or Azir, and you just...
And it's their version with all the 80 carry bans that came through. It's their version of having an answer to the Zeri with no Sivir.
That's your fan,
They had Samira instead, but otherwise the comp is very much like we've seen from Liv Sandbox and KT Rolster. Snowballing elementals, fighting early, getting that tempo advantage that T1 was so famous for in spring.
Let's see if it works out. Let's hop onto the Rift for game 1.
What did you put on your nail?
Here we go, on to the Rift.
All right.
For game number 1. I feel like, to me, the most interesting lane, actually, just maybe this is a personal thing, but I really want to see how the Ahri versus Azir is going to work out for Faker versus Showmaker. Samira, very interesting.
So Ahri Azir, this matchup, I've seen it so many fucking times now.
Especially if they can get some momentum behind them, but
initially, when I saw this matchup first being played, I thought Ahri could get pushed early, but like level on the third wave, I thought Ahri could get pushed, but Azir is... Every time I see this matchup, Azir is just fucking Ahri the first 4 levels. I've seen on both sides from Chovy, I've seen one here. What's this observer? Zoom in. Yo, Iron thanks to tier 1. Also, I guess T1 value Wukong over Yumi and over Poppy, which is kind of odd, I guess, looking at LPL. It's a monster leash, holy fuck. Jungle is 1.
Taught everyone how it was done, and at this point, people forget because Ahri has been so popular for so long now, but the way that Ahri has played with the resets and how she plays out lane and picks in later on fights and stuff was defined by Faker on this reworked Ahri, but also on Ahri of old.
Nuguri's not playing with Ignite. Yeah, I think it's good.
It's just kind of cool to see everything goes full circle here.
Pog,
so
let's go, man.
Potentially a level 2 game.
I think this is good if you get... you can't really do much with 2 in 1.
Craigasm.
Fine though. This helps a bit with the Azir push early, which I think you can get really easily. Would be ideal if you could get more, but there's nothing to do there. I think Owner could have just done 3 top camps into mid gank from above and then back to bot side for his Nautilus lane. I think that's slightly better. Because they can actually contest this bot crab, and he can really chunk that Azir level 3, I think.
We'll need to last hit some minions at some point. He did a bunch of damage to the ones there.
He's going to then pressure Sinza a bit. Make him go back topside or whatever.
Picking up some of those there, he gets to watch the counter, but finds himself a little bit far behind in the early part of this lane.
Haha, very balanced.
We don't see it all too often. Only 11 games.
Wait, so who's the loss? Call him out.
Who was the loss? I think it was KT.
Who was it?
I think it was Ghost, actually, but I'm not Ghost.
Or it could have been Ghost.
I don't know which support he was.
Could have been Nongshim.
That game, but if I remember correctly, I think it was Ghost. But Nongshim has also had a rough season. Don't want to. Yeah. I'm not trying to point fingers, but.
I don't like this setup. I think Wukong should be bot side.
But the duo, I feel like it did.
This Azir should already be chunked out.
This patch, but it's still insanely strong. So.
Don't like when you have a Nautilus lane that has to give up the wave a bit this early when they can stack waves.
Jumping up and down, clapping my hands. I'm like, DK are gonna win this 100%. Like,
what did Nuguri just do in top? This guy's almost dead.
Yeah.
And even some of the other choices that they went with in this draft as well. It just goes so well with the Yumi.
I think that if it wasn't T1, I would also be feeling a lot better about it. But I also think that T1's draft is insanely strong at controlling early skirmishes and winning elemental.
Nuguri's getting blasted in this lane.
What T1 was so famous for in
what the fuck?
And when they went on their 18-0 run, was cross-map. And it's such a stark contrast from what happened with them, obviously, in the 2021 summer season, where it was kind of up and down. They were so good at Rift Herald fights, but they kind of lived and died by that. And did clean things up in the end, of course, made it to the finals,
Zeus.
World's finals.
Zeus, yeah,
but
Zeus.
this year, it was all about cross-map and knowing when to fight for Herald, and then otherwise how to use your
Pog,
to get
let's go, man.
Your
rush thanks to 18.
18 months with Cathedral Pog.
But I think that they are a team that knows exactly what to do when they're trying to play a tempo-based comp, which is why...
And he needs to base after Raptors, I think.
Been so good, why Kallista's not allowed to be played by this team, and why Sivir was banned as well. Is that if you give T1 wave clear and prio in these lanes, especially with the performances we've seen from Zeus in particular and Owner, then the game
he's not basing.
really runs away
He's
with
running top.
himself and
Could be good actually.
laning very well here.
But Nurku doesn't have a biscuit.
I think T1 are in a position to
Ah, he's gonna die. Yeah, he's dead. Is he dead?
really
No, he's not dead.
showcase-
Yeah, is he dead?
Zeus
Yeah, he's dead.
baited into this one excellently. Nuguri is incredibly low though,
Really
but
smart
it
by
does
Canyon.
not matter. Canyon is in here. There's no flash for Zeus. He is going to charge away.
Really
just
nice.
To get meleeed from range, as Canyon will take
I actually
down
feel
the
like
first blood going to
is it,
Canyon.
if it's a cannon wave
First
next,
blood goes over to the Jinzhou
and I think it is,
baited here by Nuguri.
because
We've seen this
Sejuani goes
a few times.
Lucidity first item, right? It's a cannon wave.
Getting baited in the
Can
previous
Sejuani just
series
run
by
bot?
Doran.
Like, no joke.
Another legendary top laner in his own right, but this time it's Nuguri who sets it up.
And then
Canyon
just
goes
TP top
over,
after they do
Owner
something
not
bot.
there to assist.
No, he doesn't go boots, never mind then.
Will be
Normally I see
dead.
Sejuani go
Does
Lucidity
have
boots first
teleport
item.
back to lane. Still holds that CS
I
lane,
wouldn't have
but
time anyway.
gonna get this Jinzhou a little bit accelerated here. Not going to be too impactful for these two.
His lane would be fucked.
compositions. But well
Yeah,
played.
he would never have
Also
time.
getting,
Okay, so you can't really do that.
Flashless top laners does affect how much they'll be able to engage on that Rift Herald fight. As Nuguri did take flash in this matchup, we don't always see that on the Sejuani.
Maybe he has boots thingy.
Maybe
Does he
wants
have
to
magical footwear?
Extend his ability to
Okay.
pull off engages and stuff like that, because you can go for
Normally I see them go Lucidity.
charge
Maybe it's,
flash,
you go Lucidity
stuff like
boots
that,
when you have
flash
Ignite.
ults, obviously.
That would make more sense.
But also just your ability to get away from the insane amount of lockdown that T1 has. As we've seen Sejuani,
Running bot would be used.
mainly Zeus, just not have a lot of fun against that much CC. Here's Canyon.
Yeah, that ward is going to ruin his day, though. He's just going to go back off. Drake has spawned, of course, but it's a Yuumi lane here. Okay, Canyon sticks around. Or does he?
He's here and then he's not. Oh,
They saw him bot, they're gonna go to his red.
he's not again.
Looks good.
This is a good trade here from Zeus.
But there are T1s like they have kill pressure bot
They
and owner could
rotated
match
up
bot.
to the top part of the map.
But I guess they're
There's a
making it so
chance
Canyon has to
that
cover,
there could be
and
a
then he
Drake
can just
cryo
take his
setup here
pop
now
camps
that
when
Canyon did
he
stay
covers.
alongside us. Flash here from Zeus is really good. He realizes instantly, like, oh, I see what's going on. Still not enough, of course, here. Wind becomes lightning connects, and that's the end of him, despite the charge he's flashed on. And Canyon gets that extra.
Has his
auto
red
attack.
now.
Feels like from a million miles away. And going back to live, Canyon decided to rotate.
his Krugs
topside
as well.
here. They did not try to make an early play for Drake. Well,
How far is Canyon from 6 actually?
for the
Probably
scuttle
after
control.
Raptors, I guess.
By the way, we got info on what
Nope,
the
still
one
not 6.
loss of Zeruyumi was. It was Kwangdong Freaks, actually, bottom lane. Up
Well, they got
against
some bottom wave
Genji
XP.
playing Yasuo Sejuani.
That's right.
And that game was just, oh man, that was an actual steamroll.
Yeah, I think
Not even a steamboat.
I think
Like,
Ornn,
that was
Wukong,
probably
Ari. I
the
think
most
against
one-sided
enemy
game
champs, I
I've
think
seen.
Herald is
That game was.
I mean, Yasuo
pretty free.
Sejuani bot. Like, even when I say that, you know.
I guess he doesn't want to lose his bot
that
camps
game
though, which is
was-
also.
was something.
Oh, he does want to. He doesn't care about his bot
Another
camps.
win in Genji's long line of wins that they have had this season.
Yeah, Canyon can't really do anything bot. He just needs to make sure they can't die.
We'll actually grab a little bit of extra control down here on this.
Maybe they can move to Herald
Very
after
gonna
this.
take an
I don't know.
opportunity to back here.
They
Looks
take their
like
bot
T1
lane to
going
Herald.
for Herald. Guma's gonna have to catch this wave.
He has
before
Berserker
rotates
Greaves, right?
up.
He can run there pretty quick.
And as a result, Damwon Kia actually have a lot of power here to potentially try to rush Drake.
No, they
and
go
then
Drake.
get over there.
Yeah, I think that's
See
the best
that,
thing to do.
You know, owner starts this up early. The timing
Feels
is
wrong
nice
to
for
put
this. And they
these
can kind
champs
of
on
half
Herald
commit.
already.
They can put the Samira back and then head back down to lane if Damwon Kia commit up.
Maybe
They
Canyon
know
can take his
where
bot
Samira
camps
is
though.
going to be. But I think this trade really favors Damwon Kia. I mean, Damwon don't lose any control of the map. Nuguri's going to take this time to get it back. And they just won't
I
contest
can't.
this. It's a solo Mountain Drake, which in the past we'd be like, oh, it means it's not Mountain Soul, so chances are this might not actually matter. But with the buffs, of course, to elementals, which I promise we'll stop talking about at the end.
Eventually.
Of the week, I do
Yeah.
like, as we're kind of still
Doesn't really
figuring out
matter.
this meta. I do like the position that Damwon Kia find themselves in after this one, significantly behind in gold, and will be further after the Herald is dropped. But it's, no extra local gold to T1. It was just picked up by owner, who will pick up that gold, but it's on a Wukong.
Samira's going Eclipse. Yeah, I normally see. I think Samira and Nyla have same builds. You go Eclipse or Shield Bow, right?
Let's go, man.
Good thing thanks to the 4.
And then calculate it with a team that had one old Mountain Drake and now a team that had one new Mountain
Oh,
Drake.
like a simulation with all the abilities
Yeah.
recast the same.
Can
way,
go early Dirk
basically.
though. Lucian does it
even
as well.
like
Just go
damage
early
numbers
Dirk into
and
your
then,
mythic.
show how much
Of
more
like Gale
armor
Force or
and
whatever they want
defense
Shield Bow
they
here.
have and how much less. It would be
And then make the
hard to
Dirk into a
pull off,
collector.
I guess. I don't know if we have that technology in League of
See, Kalista does it as well.
But That would be really cool to see, just to see the actual difference and get like a real
OP.
number. Like, oh, this was a team fight at 21
Yeah,
minutes
it's
of the
OP.
game.
Yeah.
They took 500
Nice.
less damage, you know, and we could be like, oh, you know, that could be significant, or, you know, just to see real numbers. Because it definitely feels much stronger.
Yeah, so far, especially with the durability patch, something like
Yeah, it
Mountain,
is.
with all those extra armors already added into the kits.
You're my biggest fan.
champions,
Get it?
That's then compiled on by the percentage-based armor increase here for the solo elemental. Damwon, they have the composition that wants the game to be slowed down.
-1.
So while this Rift Herald will give temporary gold to T1, I mean, they'll have it forever.
I would
but
eat
the
that backline
advantage
as
they'll
Wukong.
gain from this plate crash
I
is
would
very
refuse to
temporary,
elaborate.
Unless they could dive Showmaker, which doesn't seem likely here. He's got backup.
Okay, Faker got the plates, that's good.
Mountain Soul gives you
There's not much to do, is there now?
forever.
Herald's gone.
Percentage base plus 5 extra minutes of game time and an ability to just walk away from a mid-game fight where Samira's going to have a Mortal Shield Bow. You know, Zayas has the really nice Ornhorn. So avoiding fights as Damwon Kid and still getting objectives feels like a win in my book, even if it does leave them 500 gold behind.
I wonder how these top laners feel right now. They've just been kind of sitting here. There was that one that one gank out of Canyon, and then they just went back.
Honor
to
has his
their
item now,
normal
so he
lives.
can beat Xin Zhao pretty easily.
It's like
You can tell Valdez doesn't play top lane, guys.
It's like they won. It's like they
Should
won
make
a
Rest
raffle
Crown.
to go to Orlando or something for a vacation, and then they just like go back to their farm or something. It's like, oh, okay, we had fun. Well, now we're just gonna go back to trading back and forth.
It's a Monday morning at the
Yeah.
top lane, you know.
Gotta go back to work. Yep.
Alarm goes off, and Nuggery's like, he calls in where he's like, can I call in sick today? Can I teleport back?
Hey, T1 are starting to play mid to
"Nah,
bot.
we need you to
It's
save
good.
that."
I think they win
Okay,
2v2
I'll
pretty
walk
hard.
back. All right.
When Faker bases.
What do
They
we
still
have
needs
on
to
the
base.
docket today?
But they have
Oh,
bot
I
push,
gotta
they have mid
face
push, I think, if they wanted.
Okay.
The only problem, right, like, the only, like, issue you have is if you play really hard mid to bot,
Just another
and you
pig in the
fight
top
here,
lane,
then it's always bad
alright.
for the team that's doing it, because
And
you
that
can just TP to this
pretty
bot
much
tier
what's
1.
happening because they're trading,
Nuguri and
but
Zeus
it's
can't do
not
shit, so it's kind of hard to go too deep right now.
Oh, man,
Maybe
look
they
at
could've-
Zayas get the better end of that one, though.
Yeah.
That was
If they see,
riveting
did they see
gameplay
Canyon
up
go there?
there,
I think they should not
Valdez.
be
I know
running
what
bot
you're
side if they
talking
saw
about.
Canyon go there. They
Showmaker
should be
went
running here
Crown
again.
in this game, which
They
I think
saw
is
him, right?
advised considering,
They wanna collapse on
the
it?
pick potential is we're gonna hold our
They can-
thoughts.
Okay,
Uh-oh, we
Zeus can stop the
have
TP,
a
that's good.
gaming moment as everybody is getting into this bottom side. Duck Dom just gets the hell out of there. Charm is big, but again,
Owner's dead.
Xin Zhao. Owner is
They
taken
lost
down.
3v4.
He's going to be the first one to go down in this fight.
Or?
As the Samira
Or?
does go
Kuma.
X-rank, and finally...
Oh my god, this Yumi is so broken! Oh my god, he's alive!
Kidding me? Everybody on the side of DK will live.
Oh man, it was on the edge, on the
Oh, it's
knife's
a
edge
horror
there.
for T1.
Kellen did so much in that defense. His ultimate was amazing. Gets that extra
Holy
shield
fuck.
off, and you gotta secure those kills, T1.
Oh, it's a
Man,
horror.
The turrets do so much damage at this stage in the game. You're diving in
Yumi's so
like that.
fucking
You don't have
broken.
the same sustain. Samira does so much in fights like this because
Did he
she's just
cleanse the
able to
exhaust?
rip
Who
through
was
health bars.
exhausted
She has
there?
her Nooncliver, and at that point, the Dirk online. As we might have a
Zeri played this really good.
In a moment. But Canyon does
Goes to the
most
wall,
of
get
this.
over.
Obviously,
Then they go on
Slowcom
Canyon.
takes the
Canyon's
Yumi
ult
on
was
his
pretty
back.
good as well.
Dotcom uses this wall to actually
Just ult him
avoid
off.
the engage.
It was actually
The
Owners
Yumi ult
who
roots
gets
only
targeted and he
place.
dies. Then I
So
think he
it
gets
runs down the
Triumph,
ignite,
Canyon.
still sticks to him.
They still have
Flashes
exhaust.
to
Exhaust
Dotcom,
on Guma.
We just don't secure that one. Faker backs
Why didn't
off
he?
early.
Oh my god,
Just
Guma
before auto
fucking
dodge,
into
the
it,
shield
man.
comes
What the
through.
hell? Why didn't he
You gotta
cleanse
secure the
exhaust? He
kills.
just
You
cleansed when
actually
he
have
was
to get
dead.
that last hit.
It's
What is this cleanse by Guma? He should have just cleansed the exhaust and he would kill them.
Not to mention how much damage the crescent guard tanks here.
Oh shit, man. Here, if he just cleanses exhaust, the Xin Zhao is dead.
Yeah, look at this
Oh my
heal,
god,
and then
Guma.
auto and shields.
Super
That's
into
what
it.
keeps him alive, and even Canyon's like, ooh, nice.
That's the whole
It
reason
was
he
a
has
really nice
he has
pick, but
cleanse,
don't
right?
see those very
Sejuani ult
often.
and exhaust. There's nothing
Gorebreaker
else. Yes,
as well, an
just needs to do
item
one
that
thing.
in that
And I
replay,
misplayed it
in
really hard
his
there.
first-person views,
Maybe he
showed
could
it
have done
was
more
not
if he
on
killed
Guma, might have
this.
just come off
I
and
think he
on
would kill the Xin Zhao and die,
That's
probably,
why those
would be
one
my
they got
guess. And he would just
tracking
go one for
the
one, but
Yumi heal the shield and all that stuff, but either way, Canyon once again with a really nice mechanical play here, helped by his teammates. Kellen's final chapter there actually being massive in terms of making sure they get the Wukong kill, but this is a huge swing of gold. Damwon
yeah, this is
Kid
what I
did
mean.
not have.
TP to bot tier 1.
And they
Zeus
do.
might have to do the same mid.
Okay,
There's an
1,000
unleashed
gold
anyway,
ahead.
who
It
cares?
looks like not
I think this is
really
gone.
a position here, or
Maybe they
not
can
one
play a
to
fight here.
challenge this
Showmaker has a
break,
good
but
position.
they're
If he has
still
stopwatch, no he doesn't.
potentially gonna go for
Oh,
a
nice
final
flash hook
chapter
by
once again.
Keria.
Zuma's
Holy
gonna
shit,
block some
Keria
of that as they
smurfing.
try to get on Zuma. Showmaker, but he's
Oh my god, he's out.
just
Is he
barely
dead?
again.
Red Smite or something?
How do
No,
they keep
he's fine.
getting away with this? The Yumi's
Canyon's dead.
insane,
Can
but
T1 win?
T1
Yeah,
are
T1 win.
still fighting on the front line,
Oh
and
my god,
the
that was really good team fight by
eventual
Keria.
Inferno Trigger comes
Showmaker's
in,
dead too.
and
Oh,
it is enough
flash.
as Faker will look
Nice.
for more.
Holy
One more
my,
will do
dude,
it. He's
Keria
just
is
gonna
so
put them-
fucking good.
As that will do it. 4 kills even
Keria,
with
he had a
Showmaker
ward over
getting
the wall,
held
and
in
he saw
surviving.
Showmaker run, and he just flash
you
hooked
said,
blind
they
and got the
away
hit,
with
the
it.
hook onto
Showmaker got away with it, and
Showmaker.
didn't. The
Yeah.
rest of
That was. Can we see
Damwon Kia
Keria
did not.
POV? That was fucking
This
sick.
is the
Show me
5
Keria
minutes of
POV,
time
please.
I was talking about. The Damwon Kia could afford to not fight at least once on a Drake. And when this one
Look at
goes
Keria. Look,
over
he
and
sees
they
him on this
decide to
ward,
chase
just flash
early,
hooks the bush
suddenly getting
instantly,
slow.
knocks him up.
Keria.
Everyone on
It's
on
Keria,
Showmaker. I think
first of
that
all,
push by
makes it play
Showmaker. Maybe
here.
I mean I guess he had to do it.
Follow-up is also good.
And it's a
just choke
4v5.
point into Samira.
Good stopwatch by Keria as well. Then Guma gets his ass off.
Yeah, you got a bunch of
Nice.
free kills you were never going to normally
Scheduled
get
to
that
miss
bottom
because
side
Showmaker
when
pushed them.
T1's dive failed. If
So.
T1's dive is successful, they're in such a lead
That's
that
really
Damwon
big
Kia
for T1.
probably didn't even go over there.
Yeah.
But, you know, getting those kills and hitting your first item as Zeri is not a call for forcing a fight here on the second Drake of the game, a solo Cloud. Better than it used to be, but still, I mean, you're fighting T1 exactly
Why is Zeus
when
writing in
they
the
want
chat,
to
how
fight you,
useless is
exactly
Nuguri?
when they want to be
Okay.
turning, and T1's mechanics
Wins
do
the fight, writes in
come up
chat.
big there. They actually fight it out properly, and
Yeah.
yes, there was an angle with the slow from Duckdom and the follow-up damage, Kellen popping the ult there, but you know, it's a bit frustrating to, as Damwon, I think, realizing now after that fight that this is just basically fighting right into T1's big spike, despite those failed dives earlier. It's not going to affect the Samira's strength in a fight like this.
Yeah, so T1 now off the backs of that big win. They're going to... Okay, Canyon's over the wall here, so...
Canyon has no
suppose
flash for
Damwon
like
Kia
10
wants another
seconds.
fight.
But they
Canyon
probably
does
think
not
he
have
has flash.
Not yet, about 2 seconds.
And it's probably bad
5
going to a choke
seconds-ish.
anyway. Good.
As Damwon, they want another fight.
Yeah, I just don't
I think
they
T1
should.
should play over bot now.
They
I
will
think this
not
Herald...
go down
Oh,
without
Nuguri's
one,
creeping.
as in comes Faker once again, not quite able to land
Oh,
that
close.
charm. As the Ornhorn now for the follow-up, a little bit late. Not really going to get anything in. I mean, kind of trying to clear
Need to
the
fix that
wave,
bot wave.
suppose. Everybody's
I guess
just
they can't.
backing away.
And I mean,
Not over bot, over
T1,
top, sorry.
I think they were looking at this. Canyon's over the wall, still has
This
ultimate,
Herald can get
still
to a tier
has
2
flash.
pretty
We're not
easy
gonna
if they
commit
go
on
bot.
him. They know that Damwon Kia have multiple angles of attack there.
Oh,
Okay, Crescent Guard is available, plus Flash for Canyon.
he's dead.
As he's just going to Crescent Guard and then flash away. Now he's got a Yumi
Not dead.
on his back. Nice little play once again from
Oh, and he's
Keria.
a TP top. No, they
He
don't have
sees
TP.
enemy, and he is pressing all his
There's
buttons
no
on
wave.
that guy.
Absolutely the right call. And for Damwon Kia in that fight
a
around the
wave.
second Rift Herald, they had a split setup where Canyon's coming in over the wall. They have a flank angle.
Yo, Alexis, thanks to the prime.
Showmaker, you know, is trying to get in there, and T1 are like,
Infernal Soul
okay,
map,
who do
yeah.
we collapse on here? We have all of our ultimates available. We could certainly try to force a fight, but instead they just back away and turn. And, you know, again, Damwon Kia
casting
really
today?
trying to push
Yeah.
the envelope in terms of what this comp is capable
Casting
of.
the last
on
3
one
games.
Mythic here, when the kits of T1's comp and the spikes of the items that the players have are much better. Now, Guma has a collector online with his Immortal Shield Bow. So, I mean, the Samira is the problem, the Ahri is the other problem. There are 2 problems. And they're getting bigger with each and every
So
fight.
T1 have a
Damwon
really
Kia
good game
forced.
state because what will
Keria's
happen is
making himself
Damwon
a
have to
problem.
defend the top lane
There's a lot
no
of
matter what
problems.
because they have Herald.
On the
So if they go
side
bot,
of
then they lose their
T1
tier 2.
for Damwon
But what
Kia.
T1 can do is they
More
can
money for
mess with them
T1
pretty
means
hard.
no
If they just keep
problems.
mid push and keep
Certainly,
hovering
yeah.
top,
It's weird the
eventually
way
they'll
that
get this top
works.
tier 1. But if Damwon overcommit to defend, they
money,
can just
no
Herald this mid tier 2.
problems.
So they have really good game state.
That's an
Like
old one.
And now,
just
yeah,
patience and don't
probably-
choke. And if they all go top side
All the
and
kids in the chat are like, what is he talking about? I have no idea.
try to defend this tier 1 too much, then
yeah. And
just
you
Herald
can see
mid.
that T1, I love what they're doing.
Also
You
Drake's
know,
up
they
soon,
have
so I
much
think
faith
Faker
in
will
this
just probably
comp. They're
base
just like,
eventually and
okay,
just
we're
go towards
ahead,
Drake.
really
So it's
just
not really...
be in their face at all times. Let's try to take vision.
Let's just go to Drake, I guess.
As aggressively as we possibly can. It's Infernal
STP anyway.
Soul, which means that
Magi's,
somebody
holy.
has a chance to
6
pick up
stack
3
Magi's.
Infernal Drakes. And with the buff on that plus Infernal Soul, if you're getting there, you're probably winning this game. You know, say what you want about the scaling.
Faker has purchased a Magi's Soul Stealer after getting the lone.
So Damon's
needlessly
best
large
option here
squad,
is to
and
not fight
I
Drake,
think
it
that's
looks
what
like.
Faker is saying. If Faker were
I guess they
casting
wanna
this
take
game,
this
like,
top
he
tier
wouldn't
one.
actually say words. He would just buy a Soul Stealer and say, "Well, this is the game state." I don't need to.
It's a
actually
losing
explain
trade
the
because
rest
you will
of
lose bot
this.
tier 1 and they can herald bot tier 2, yeah.
Maybe Faker will be a caster one day. I'd love to hear it.
That would,
They can herald bot tier 2. So now Damon have a really awkward scenario where you have to defend bot,
Maybe in
but you
2
can't
years,
really
we'll
fight
see.
Drake either. So this
he's
is really
got
good by
big
T1.
pockets. That's all I would say for him, but it would be worth it. Yeah, I think it's a good idea, especially because he has stopwatch, you know?
Yeah.
I guess you just, like, in these scenarios when you're just pulled around so much, eventually you just say, fuck it. I think Canyon should have just stayed in Fog, and then they can just get this top tier one. Because now they can't really, I mean, they should be able to get it anyway.
And that is a point that
I think they can get bot tier one as well pretty easily, done one.
But the caster who's actually casting Wolf is saying is that with this Maji's Soul Stealer, Faker is identifying, I don't think they will ever kill me for the rest of this game. Our comp has spiked. You fought into
they get
it.
nothing.
Now we're even further
Good play by T1.
And every objective on this map now belongs to us. Yes, you got the first Drake, but we got 2 now. We're looking for Soul Point in 5 minutes time. And by that time, Zeri might have
just
a
installed
Dancer,
7
but
TV.
Samira will
Oh
probably
my
have her
god.
third item. There's so many threats.
You
to this
just installed 7
competition.
TV.
There's so much CC, and there's only so
Welcome.
much you could do.
Welcome.
You know, with this Ghost here as Duckdom to get away from it as Showmaker with the crown. Damwon Kia really need to play.
Welcome to a whole new world.
These next few moments, they did not contest for that third Drake. They just let that one go by default.
Probably a good idea. Would have been nice if they could have fought over the
Pepe Pains.
Infernal Drake.
Downloaded 7 TV.
I mean, the Drake was already dead, and they're like, yeah, let's go.
Welcome to
got
hell.
A good angle. I think they just things just happened a little bit too quickly to them before they could react. This teleport, speaking of which, is coming in.
Hello?
Don't you guys see this? Do they not see it? As okay. Seems like they're totally fine with it, actually, as nobody else
get this top tier one now.
does commit to the fight.
That's the
Nuguri
TP.
was here already.
What
So
just happened? Like, I wasn't even paying attention.
Doc
Doctam was just playing really cocky when they were TPing.
Much wanting to make sure that Damwon Kia can actually force a fight here or a potential pick. And I don't think they were going to find one, but they want to make sure there's
Showmaker
no holds
spiking.
barred, because all it takes for Damwon Kia to come back in this game is a one-team fight. We talked about the likelihood of that at this stage with the game state is very low, but if you find that angle, if you do win that fight, T1 want to make sure they have all the resources. They have a lot of damage and items. They do not, however, have enough for a T1.
De-installed it.
21 minute.
Okay, you mean uninstalled?
Baron take. They are
Yo,
taking
mods!
the vision control, trying to find more control over.
What is happening in the
side
chat?
of the
It's
map
devolving
right now
into like
because the next
emote
objective is
madness.
spawning so long from now, 3 minutes away, and T1 want to fight. They want to fight so bad. They want to prove the strength of their comp. So they're saying, all right, Damwon, are you going to let us get vision everywhere and take turrets off the map, or are you going to fight us? We win either way.
Mods permaband them.
And if you guys come to
Take them out.
join, we'll actually turn on you and look for a collapse. Love the way T1 is playing this lead here. There's not
Enable
a whole
Starage?
lot they
It is
can do
enabled,
because
you
there's
fuck.
no Drake, but they're at least forcing that deeper vision around this Baron buff that eventually will be a viable option.
They're all getting permaband.
It's really
Nuking the
what you gotta
chat.
do, especially because the way the game is played here, at least in the LCK, is not really around.
What happened here?
Side lanes.
How did
Trying to
Damwon get
group up
here?
and look for plays just like
Oh,
this.
nice flash by
Canyon
Zeus.
gets
Really
out
nice
of
flash.
position.
Holy fuck, Zeus
Goes
is
for the
smurfing.
crescent guard, immediately taken
I
down
think
by
this flash R
Oh, man,
on
and
Ornn
Frank
is
as
really,
well
really,
popped here, but
really strong.
Dom coming on in, pops the ghost as well.
Oh, he didn't mean to do that. I'm sure he didn't mean to do that.
Goes very far away from the fight immediately after.
He realized he was still sitting on a Phantom Dancer and didn't have Infinity Edge. His Extendo Beam hit
let's go,
everyone,
man.
and everyone was
Yo,
slow.
M thanks for the 2.
If Showmaker
T1 is
here,
like
and
the
has
old
Emperor's
milk in the
Divide with that,
fridge. You want to throw it, but still want
so, I mean,
it.
There is a way where actually that ends up being a great fight for them if they turn
Huh?
it, but no, Showmaker is still mid while this is all happening. He's dealing with that
Pog,
wave. Can't
let's
teleport
go,
into this
man.
fight. It's a snap call.
Oh, Zeus
from
was
T1
really
good.
for the flash engage here. Really well played. Kellen reattaches, tries to help him in this choke point. Look at the extendo beam value.
Doctam can slow chase him here a bit, but I think he tried to just use mini E to dodge the hook.
Coming, and I'm just gonna peace out of here.
It just looks so silly.
He's like, never mind.
Yeah, he just pops
all I'm
all
gonna say is
cooldowns,
T1
and
has
he's
won
like,
every
"Oh, you
series
know
we've
what? Actually,
co-streamed,
I'm
and they've
just
lost every single series I
He's
haven't
like, this is
co-streamed.
not a Zeri moment.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
It's a buff.
Certified, I'm leaving. And that's it.
Certified Zeri retreat. Am I right?
Yeah. We have Infernal coming up here in a minute and a half.
It's kinda
Already,
sausage.
It feels like T1 are preparing for this. There was a ping onto the Scuttle Crab, but there is also Baron, and right now T1 do not have vision on this. So you see, they're moving in. They're like, oh, okay, thank God. They're not doing that one, at least. As immediately after the Magians, by the way, Faker purchases a Death Cap.
Yeah, he went needlessly to Magi's to Deathcap after picking his stopwatch up early with the extra money.
That's
Had.
some
On
damn.
co-stream worlds.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
True.
Why do you have to say it like that?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
And Damwon Kia are not going to want to be picking up all those deception orbs. But they will be potentially in this next fight here that they have to force now because it is Soul Point for T1. They have better prio here. I mean, choke point control for Damwon Kia is insane between the Xin Zhao that can split the team up if they decide to engage, the Azir ultimate,
Yeah.
And so Faker with no flank angle here. I mean, T1 might just try to push mid instead and force Damwon Kia to react.
Yeah, still some time here.
Right?
Wouldn't agree.
The Damwon are in good position at the moment as they
Oh,
are
Nuri
on
flanking.
top of this Nautilus, but immediately followed up with a
They have stopwatch
knock-up,
carrier.
and that is going to be
Cannon's
huge.
alive,
They
but
get the
Nuri's one
Nautilus,
shot.
but what do
Cannon's
they
dead as well.
lose? The
Yeah, it's over.
Cancer is everything. As
It's
Duck
over.
goes in, he's going to be taken out eventually as well. Faker will net himself that kill, and yeah, that's why you generally don't want to go all in onto the tank support. That's going to be another Infernal Drake here for T1.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his Mythic online. He's very tanky. I mean, he's still Nautilus,
Yeah, there was
sure, I
Yone
get
as
it.
well, but that was
look
Yone.
at the depth in which Damwon Kia has to commit Showmaker. Like, he's so far forward here, they instantly blow up Canyon, who has Crescent Guard, so buys some time.
Sorry,
But then they're just like, okay, well,
wait, how many
Sigma
stacks did
doesn't have
Faker
a
get
health
from this
bar
fight?
As far as we're concerned, and then Duckdom is taking a creative path to try to escape here. And
Yeah.
let's just say he shortened
16
his own
stacks
death
total.
timer there by going in instead of
Yeah, the game is over.
away.
I don't think Damwon can win.
Guma is 5-1-4. Faker's 3-0-5.
Game is
And
over.
it's a 5,000 gold lead here.
The gold is where they want it.
The gold is where they want it. I mean,
How long do they have Nash?
tanks
I didn't get Nash. What am I
sitting
saying?
at, you know,
Nash is up.
nearly
Nash should be pretty easy though.
75-80% kill contribution.
This
Area 7
this
assists,
Xin Zhao has no
6
flash.
assists
I think they can
for
turn.
Zeus.
They have so much turn. It's unbelievable.
0-1-8, like,
I would whip the
all
whole team
kills
if they don't
secured
turn
by
very
the
well with this
proper
comp.
parties, all the item spikes
Like
are
Wukong is
getting
probably one of the best
stacks,
turning junglers with
Soul
W.
Stealer and
Nautilus, like it's
Faker got a bunch of
they just have to turn on the Xin Zhao.
like you just said, and he's up to
Faker positioning is fine.
506 AP already. I mean, we're only 26 minutes into the game. It's, with the build he has gone for, he is just an AP dominator. As okay, bunch of damage onto this one. They're just
What is
gonna
happening?
Go ahead and flip it as in goes Canyon. He is
Oh
not
my
gonna
god,
get the
it's
smite, though,
disgusting, but it
as
works.
the wall comes up, and now Canyon is left to the wolves. As down he will go. Duckdom not really in a position here to do anything, as everybody else on the side of T1 is just away from them. And that is a Baron take pretty clean from the side of T1. They didn't
Well,
necessarily have to, you know, let
they win now
Canyon
for
get
sure,
into
yeah.
the pit, but works out in the end.
They let him into the pit. They prevented him from going out. They'll take it. As I mean, this is just an incredible siege now. Baron buffs up 2.5 minutes. They could just walk it down. If they get any kills here, it's Dunzo. As Duckdom still doesn't have Infinity Edge, has no poke damage back. Struggling to clear these minions here, and T1 could just use this Baron buff to try to open up inhibitors, split off on the
There was
map,
some
and go
psycho
back
play
to
there by
power
Damwon in my
recall
head if I
reset
think
to
about
do
it,
that.
where Showmaker just sends it and ults them back and they
By the
finish
time
somehow.
this Baron buff wears off,
I'm
it's
sure
gonna
there
be
was
so
some
fun.
psycho play there that they could have
I think it was pretty easy to
happened.
see when Damwon Kia took those 2 poor fights. The main one, of course, on that solo Cloud Drake earlier on that was already taken. They fell into a trap of T1's item spikes, couldn't catch up, got map control ripped away from them.
4-1.
And the next 15 minutes of the game have just been T1 saying, this is mine, this is mine, you can't have that.
Here, I'm
I
sure there's
feel
a psycho
that.
play here
Nice
somewhere,
engage, good try,
where
bro.
Showmaker just
We'll
goes
see
in and
you
ults them
too.
somehow.
It's like a really
I don't know.
mean older brother.
And they finish.
Takes everything.
Somewhere there.
He's the older brother who puts his hand on the forehead of Damwon Kia as Damwon Kia helplessly
Yeah,
swings at him.
That's right.
Cannot reach.
Yeah.
And it's time to start thinking about game 2 here because T1, the composition that Damwon has, it scales better. But there is, unfortunately, way too much damage for T1. Azir cannot survive long enough to get any value out of
Will
Nash.
TSM win Worlds?
Like, can you even imagine Nashor's Tooth actually getting value in a fight in this game?
He tried in the last fight. It barely scraped Ornn's shield. He got like 2
Yep.
autos off only, but I mean, especially with Crown, like you're just not given any time to scale.
Ornn ult is
It's
good.
not gonna happen. As there you go once again.
Oh,
the
really
front
nice.
line
He
of
queued in his
Damwon
Ornn ult to
Kia,
make sure he
like
can knock
all
up
of the
Canyon
stuff we
afterwards.
talked about in the draft, it
Pretty
just
good
doesn't
mechanics on Ornn.
matter, 'cause you're so far behind. As T1
Small
will
things, but
push in
adds up.
with this
Alright, GG.
Baron. They'll take down 2.
Oh, that was
Faker's gonna
disgusting.
miss the charm, but that is totally fine. He will not go down. The inhibitor looking to be taken out as well, as Duckdom is kind of like an annoying bee that's flying around your head, but other than that, it's not really doing anything.
Is a bee a fruit fly, perhaps?
Vitality game? Which one? The one yesterday?
He's got a.
Who were they playing against? Vitality?
Really
I remember the only thing I remember from that game is severe positioning on one of the Drakes was SK. He walked up to hit a Drake and went like melee range of someone almost. That's the only thing I remember. I don't remember anything else. I just remember seeing the last fight because I wasn't on the show yesterday, and Karzi positioning in the last fight was not great. But I mean, there's not much he can do, and I also think they fucked up their 5th pick. Personally, I think they should have just picked Tam on 5. I can see why they picked Galio to peel this combo, and it makes a lot of sense, and great, I love it. But I think Tam Kench was a better 5 pick. In my opinion. Just makes his life slightly easier. Because the Galio can, yes, like you can turn the fight with Galio, but he's gonna die.
Yeah, it's nice to see the return of Samira as well. It works so well with this composition.
Also, I think Treats played good that game.
You know, somebody gets knocked up, you're knocked up for double the time. Plus,
but I think they'll make it. They'll be fine.
Going in, you know, right with
I don't know who they played today, but I think they'll make it. They'll be fine.
Around. Faker, yeah,
games happen.
He's really fed.
Faker does so much fucking damage. What is this? This RE Q2 true damage is disgusting.
But I think he does have Void Snap now online as well. So,
Faker's like, hold on,
he's just gonna kill this guy.
At the same time.
Dead Piggy. Piggy is dead. So is the Xinjiao, and that's going to be everybody. As Duck Time, he's having a little bit of fun. Down he will go as well. That is going to be another kill into the pockets of Guma. As man, this is turning into one hell of a stomp. T1 with the Infernal Soul. I think maybe they can just push to end.
I don't actually know how the lane is Tam Kenshin to work on. It's probably fucking annoying.
They push through.
Anyway,
I
think about it more.
Also having a good time up here, completely uncontested.
Yeah, Faker 508, 25 stacks.
One last
very nice.
Nice little try there from Gary. It's not going to amount to
hey, good game by T1. They fucking botched this bot dive
to go for their
pretty hard, but
but that's going to do it for game number 1.
can you actually? I'm not sure.